Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Gwent, and today we're playing the new Battle Rush seasonal event, which is an alternate game mode in which we have just 8 seconds to take our turn and 15 seconds to choose cards in between rounds. That means that everything we do needs to be lightning fast. So let's go take a look at the deck. So today we'll be playing a Scoia'Tael Mahakam Forged Dwarves deck because it is relatively simple to play, which is important because that means less thought is necessary, which means less chance of making mistakes on your just 8-second turn. So for the most part, all you need to know about dwarves is you want to load up on a bunch of dwarves in one row, try to keep them with as much armor as you can get, and then just bear in mind there are some that you want to play a little bit earlier than others. So we have a few things that you generally want to play early. A Dwarf Berserker can deal damage if you get it down early. Xavier, which can be a boosting engine if you play him early. Zoltan Warrior, once your opponent has a couple of units on the board, you damage them, and then he turns into a 1 damage per turn engine as well. You could go Giantslayer, potentially get some resilience if you can destroy the card that you target with this. Mahakam Volunteers to get that other copy out from your deck, and also just get more dwarves in one row more quickly. And so that's generally what you're trying to do for the early to middle part of the round. Then you can also use Mahakam Guards near the end of the round. Another reason why you want to get a lot of dwarves in one row, because that will turn this into a pretty nice finisher for you. Barclay to either regain armor on your dwarves, or assuming they already have armor, give you a ton of boosts, so this is a great finisher as well. Along with Zoltan Scoundrel, usually you play him in the range row, and that means you can boost up all of your other cards in one of your rows, so basically load up on as many dwarves as you can in the melee row, and then play Zoltan range row, boost all of those cards in the melee row. Or, of course, you could play Zoltan in the melee row, and then deal damage to one of your opponent's rows, just that requires that your opponent lines up a bunch of their units in one row, which obviously you have less control over. There is that potential for resilience from the Giantslayers, but we have a couple of other resilience cards as well. Gabor Zigrin, if you play him in the melee row, or alternatively, base Zoltan, also resilience there. Actually, in the case of Gabor, he is also an engine, so ideally, you play him maybe in round 2 as a throwaway card, and then round 3 comes around, he's still on the board, and he gives you all that extra value. And then the other big thing that we have is if you combine Brouver, who can be an incredibly powerful boosting engine, requires that, again, you have lots of dwarves in a row, all of which have armor. The way you set him up is you play him early, but you also use Zoltan's Company, which, because we have all of the Zoltans in our starting deck, gives us a ton of armored rowdy dwarves. So that is the quickest and most efficient way to set up Brouver. So you could even play him in a short round and get a lot of value out of him that way, but in a long round, as long as you can keep the armor on Brouver, then he is going to be worth a ton of points. So that's basically what we're looking for here. Lots of dwarves, lots of armor, lots of boosts, and a little bit of damage as well. So let's go see it in action. Alright, so going up against Scoia'Tael here, and we'll go first. Alright, and we have Roach in hand, so we need to get rid of her. And then how many volunteers do we have? Just one? Just one. Okay, let's get rid of one of you. And then I don't really want to get Best Boy in hand or the second volunteer, so I'm going to play it a little bit safe. But to start things off, what's our best option here? Don't have many great options, to tell you the truth. Don't have many great options. Yikes. It might have to be you. We're obviously missing on the deploy ability, but it does still have resilience. But just about everything else was... I mean, I guess we could have gone Dwarf Berserker and just not got any value out of the first turn here. But this is very likely going to be a mirror match. They should, yeah, go after Roach. We might go after their Giantslayer, though. Maybe do that as well. Just keep our guy alive. So now they don't have the damage because they don't have the barricade anymore. And they're probably about to get rid of our barricade. Do we have any more of those Giantslayers? No. Unfortunately not. Okay. We might need to get rid of your armor to shut you down. Could use leader ability to get armor back. They could as well on any of these engines, but oh, that's smart. It does work well. You also give armor, but normally would prefer to use you as a more pure point generator. So what if let's just go thinning here for the moment. The carryover, or the long-term value from that. And then now that means Mahakam Guards are decent finishers at this point. Still have that resilience. That is something, little advantage we have in our back pocket. Ooh, another Giantslayer on Best Boy, I imagine. Or what is more or less immediate resilience? Yeah. Okay, so now our resiliences have been canceled out. I think we still do this. I think we still do that. Okay, Dwarven Chariot, potentially a decent point slam. What are they going for, though? Spawn in the dwarves? Okay. We are still in the lead here. We could go for a second one of these guys, or we could potentially... Yeah, I think we probably do. We probably still do. And that is very likely our last play. They have the 2 resilience now, actually, which is huge. As is that. I think we pass here. And they still do need to play one more turn if they want to catch us, and that is very important. Because otherwise, if they win on even, they have more carryover than we do, they could drive past the next round, and we'd be a card down in round 3. So very nearly perfectly played from them. I think we just barely avoided a nasty situation, and I don't think need to play further now, because they should still have damage coming from these Giantslayers. Yeah, so they'll win round 1. So they have 4 more points on the board, but 1 less card, so I don't think they'll continue to push, but they theoretically could. One of these agitators could be a decent throwaway. If they do try to push, then both of these could be very helpful for us. So I think this is fine. Settle for this for now. Let's see. What do they go for? Do they play? No. Okay. So why don't we get the little bit of armor. Gives us a tiny little bit of carryover of sorts. And means we'll win this round. Alright, and Gabor is still an engine. Not our best engine at this point, probably, but could still work. Agitator, not really sure we're going to be able to make you work that much. Would be a decent early turn play. Early round play, but okay, Brouver is huge. Okay, so now let's go and we'll do Xavier first. I mean, we already play Zoltan's Company. Do we still have... We have that in deck, but we might get it from Matta. I think it's tied at 6 provisions with one of our other cards, and so we don't know definitively which direction it's going to end up going. So Brouver right now... Yeah, it's probably still Brouver. Then Gabor. And Zoltan we're going to want to play early as well. Actually, Zoltan would be the best way to set up Brouver more quickly, so it's probably Zoltan next. Monroe. Decent value. Decent value. Okay, let's go here. Get more armored dwarves in this row to set up Brouver more effectively. At this point, we might not even need Zoltan's Company all that much. There's their Brouver. Okay, so we got ours down a little bit quicker. It'll be interesting to see how these all match up. Okay, so now I think we go Gabor. I mean, basically everything at this point is going to be 1 point per turn. And the resilience obviously doesn't matter. Could have gone range row for the immunity, but trying to deliberately line up our dwarves in the same row to set up Zoltan's Scoundrel later on. There is Zoltan's Company for them. Okay, so yeah, that's the direction they went in, and that's what I was originally hoping we might do. Tell you what, let's go Berserker next to you guys. Trying to find a nice spot to put in Dennis. And it might be in between you two. Might mean we're going to want to use Mahakam Forge to set it up. That Monroe is going to be really effective. That Monroe is going to be pretty big. Okay, so I'm going to use this. Ooh, especially because Brouver just lost his armor. Definitely going to do that. And I'm going to do this. Might be looking at Matta next just to see what we get from her. What was... I don't remember what the other 6... Oh, it was a Giantslayer, I think, which is technically an engine. It's the other one we might end up getting from it. Purification doesn't really matter for us. Okay, so let's do this. And it is Giantslayer. Okay. So, Brouver just ran out of armor. So we're probably going to want to use Barclay, because that means 1 extra turn of armor on Brouver and 1 extra boost for everyone who still has armor. There's their Tempering. And their Dennis. So yeah, I think this is still the most efficient play here. Do we need anyone else in the melee row? Not necessarily. So now that should re-enable Brouver, at least for 1 turn. We're going to use Zoltan to boost everyone up, but we should use Giantslayer first, because that's at least one extra turn of damage, and we could take out the Dwarven Chariot, which might not be a huge factor, but it is setting up Brouver, actually. So that is worth doing, I think, for sure. Does mean that that's, sure, we get the immediate resilience. We're only going to get one turn of damage out of the Giantslayer, but I think because it shuts down Brouver, that's actually very big value. So I don't know. This is really interesting. I am not sure how this is going to end up. It is close. It is very, very close. So we shall see. We shall see. What is their last card? Is it big enough to catch us? Bone Talisman. It's good. It's going to be so close, though. After their damage, we will still hold on and take the win. Alright, so going up against monsters here. And they'll go first. Alright, so let's put Best Boy back into our deck. Matta could help. We've both volunteers. No, just one. Okay, that's probably fine then. I think we might dump the Marauder here. And let's see, what are we going to want to play first? Possibly Agitator. Cave Troll, this is looking a whole lot like a Kelly deck right now. It's looking a whole lot like a Kelly deck right now. That does give me a little cause for concern. This is going to be Kelly. This is almost certainly Kelly. Yup. Okay, don't like seeing Brouver go away, but alright, I guess we're doing this now, I suppose. And obviously they're going to destroy our lowest unit. Did not want to say, oh. Yeah, they can, okay, well at least we got some value. At least we got some value out of Brouver. Yeah, this is not really what we wanted to see. So, let's see, we might be Zoltaning here. Zoltan for the resilience, and then possibly Mahakam Guard or Dennis next to Zoltan to get that nice and big. Because, oh, not very often you see a good Taskmaster play, but that definitely was a good Taskmaster play. Okay, so let's go. This is not even that good anymore. Go here. Just trying to point slam, basically. Get you nice and big. Because that is, of course, the whole point of Kelly decks is to only get a small number of units, but have those few units be very powerful. I deliberately loaded up on more units than they would be able to match by going with the Zoltan's company. Because Kelly can still, at most, get rid of one unit per turn. So we are in the lead right now. And we have a big Zoltan. We will lose Roach. But we will take the round 1 win. Okay, so I think what we might do here, I mean, resilience is hard to do against Kelly because Kelly can, of course, then just remove units. But I'd like to get the thinning from volunteers. We ideally love to bleed out Kelly. We actually have card advantage here. Okay, so I'm gonna go, where did you go? I'm gonna go for the melee row for the resilience. Again, getting the extra units by some accounts against Kelly in particular is a bad thing. Okay, fair enough. Have an answer there. But if we have card advantage, doesn't make a huge difference against Kelly specifically. It's the other issue. You are our best early engine. So that is an unfortunate thing to have to play you here, but I feel as though we might need to. You could still get decent value, because you do start with the armor, so that's still not enough for them to catch us. The thing is, card advantage against Kelly doesn't make that much of a difference. Because, here we go. Fine, I'll take the thinning. On one hand, I like it to give us better consistency going forward. On the other hand, it means more units, which means if they do get Kelly out, then it's easier for them to counter us. We're gonna Heat Wave. Okay, fair enough. We are still in the lead, though. They have an engine, though. We don't. Yeah, they, tempo-wise, they were potentially gonna be in trouble. It's gonna be pretty hard to set you up. Might. Matta. Go here. I would have Matta'd, but the thing is they out-engined us, so we don't really want this round to go longer. I want them to play one more card so we can get better value out of Zoltan Warrior, because that is an engine that we would like to play. Okay. Don't know that we can handle Siri quickly enough here. Could be a bit of an issue, but we might still be able to just outpoint them. Now we can, of course, go with Zoltan And at this point now, we have a decent finisher with Mahakam Guard. Was thinking maybe we could get Giantslayer on Siri Dash. That's still going to be kind of tough, especially if they do stuff like that. Alright. We might just... I mean, if they don't play Kelly here, then we might just be able to outscore them. Put it simply. Guess we're going after you. And now we do have... I mean, we're basically admitting that Siri is definitely going to get the card draw. So I think we will Matta. Ooh, Zoltan Scoundrel's not bad when we have a big melee row here. I do like that. We play him range, boost everything in the melee row. So it's looking like... What's the timing going to be? Maybe Mahakam Guard, then Scoundrel, then Barclay? Something like that. So basically, we're just daring them to actually put up points. Which, outside of the Apiary and Phantom, they haven't been doing much of. Basically daring them to play Kelly in this round, which they, thus far, have not been willing to do. So don't really care if you squirrel. So that's not really going to help you much. Now we go Zoltan. And boost everyone here. And because we have such a big row, that is very solid value. And we might pass here. Here's where Kelly comes out, with Witch's Sabbath. But it doesn't work if our melee row is full. Oh no, it backfired. Okay. Go for this, and we're just gonna go all in at this point. Just throw this on somebody. Alright, so at this point, I don't think it's mathematically possible for them to catch us. So we'll take the win. Alright, so going up against Scoia'Tael here. And we'll go first. Alright, so let's dump Best Boy. And we have Wagenburg, which when combined with Brouver and potentially Yarpen as well can be very effective. And Zoltan's Company, okay, we might go for super aggressive round one here by the looks of things. So if we go... Yes, we'll do Wagenburg first. That way, if they do something... Doesn't seem like it's that aggressive, we don't have to go all in just yet. Oh. Okay, well, I will admit, I did not see that coming. Alright, I also was hoping we'd have something to target with one of our units, but we're gonna do it. It's gonna get a lot of armor from all the dwarves in our hands. We generally would like to have dwarves in this row very quickly to combine with him. So we'll go Zoltan's Company next, is probably the most efficient way to do that. Was going to use our armor generator that they destroyed on the previous turn to keep him maintaining his armor. We'll put tactical advantage on Roach just to make sure we get the value from that as well. But this is a way to get a bunch of dwarves in a row with him quickly to set him up for a ton of boosts. Then we'll probably go Volunteers for thinning and more dwarves in this row. And then we could finish with the Guard if we'd like to, since we have a lot of dwarves here. Not that it'll matter. So we'll win round one and win quickly, which I think is important because they were trying to set up some hand boosting here. Okay, so we have a couple throwaway cards here. We can set up some armor with you. And other than that, maybe dump Marauder. Okay, get some resilience. That's probably useful. Is that our preferred play here? Well, it might be. Turn one. And we did not get Best Boy out in round one, so here he is. That's a little bit of a nice boost. Okay, they'll go with more hand buff. We're not really trying to push all the way here, but just by putting more points on the board more quickly than them, and now, I mean, this is technically an engine, as are you, does put some pressure on them, even if we pass here. Okay. They still have not caught us. They are doing a lot of hand buff, but now, let's see. They have one more throwaway card. They have probably boosted enough in their hand that they could catch us here. Let's see. That is not sufficient, though. So now they're going to have to go card down in round 3. We're going to have double last say and card advantage. So that's a pretty big deal. Yes, we have let them set up a fair bit, though. So we'll see how that all lines up going into round 3. Okay, Giantslayer, yes, does give us some damage, although the carryover from Resilience obviously doesn't matter in round 3. Use you to set up some armor long-term, finish with you. Matta, at this point, is giving us probably you, which actually doesn't really help us much. Dennis is definitely better. Okay. And we do have an engine to start off with, which is really nice carrying that over. Okay. I actually really love this. Using Denna for hand... Oh, actually, no, but it's the evolved form. Okay, I prefer the initial form, actually. Let's see. You have 2 units right here immediately, which means we could do this. So let's see. You would... I mean, you are a Harmony Engine. I imagine you're going to get boosted up, so you're probably still going to be out of Yarpen's removal range here. Yeah. That is still a card we'd like to play on the early-ish side, so maybe we'll do that here. And then, oh, we should also make sure we play Agitator early. Should have done that earlier, I suppose. You're more time-sensitive than Yarpen is. So let's get you down. Deliberately loading up on this row. Give armor to you, matter a lot, and yes, you. I don't want to use Dennis to boost based on armor, and we played most of our heavy armor units already. Besides the Berserker, this is going to lose armor over time, of course. It's going to be for more hand buff. So their finishers are going to be huge. They're going to go quite tall. We're going to go quite wide. This will be interesting to see how we match up here. Ooh, and they got rid of your armor. Okay, we might need to use Mahakam Forge on you then. Alright, so let's do this. We'll go Mahakam Forge to turn you back into an actual engine, because you do gain armor since you're a dwarf. So that is important. Otherwise, could have considered using it on Yarpen for more of a boost. Okay, no, didn't see that Cat Witcher coming. Alright, so now, what did we say? We want to go Dennis here, probably. Not amazing, but it works. Now, ooh, yeah, we're not going to have room for both of these Mahakam Guards, are we? So we might, if anything, actually want them to destroy some of these things. Yeah, if you destroy that Rowdy Dwarf, that would actually be very helpful. So we'll drop you in here. Should also get you down, because you are an engine. And we're going to boost this row with Zoltan in the range. That was... Wow. Wow. Okay. No, we don't do that. Let's see. Go after you, just deal some damage. We're definitely gonna have room for this. I know, it's gonna be close. That card advantage is gonna be important, I think. Because we know these are gonna be big cards that they have remaining here. And they are doing a decent job from an engine standpoint. Torque is their finisher. Okay, so now we go Barclay. Worth a fair bit. Zoltan, I don't know if it's enough. It's very, very close. But we will just barely hold on for the 1-point win. Alright, so going up against monsters here. And we'll go first. Alright, so let's get rid of Best Boy. And how many volunteers do we have? Just 1. Okay, we're fine there. We have some resilience if we'd like to go that route. Potentially more. But that's not really something we can play first here. That might be our first turn play, in fact. Okay, this works. Just a little bit lacking in early plays. I mean, this is workable. Get the extra armor to you, and extra armor to... Who else, Matt? I guess maybe you. Okay, Karen Seer. Uh-oh, what are you creating a copy of? That's suspicious. Alright, I mean, this is Deathwish deck. I suppose that makes sense. Let's just get the thinning here. Might just go for a relatively simple, straightforward... I mean, Giantslayer on Deadloft works. But then again, it definitely backfires. We could use it on Karen Seer, I suppose. Okay, that's fine. Sort of. Let's do that. And just in case you're about to break out another predatory dive, we'll go that route. Okay, Cave Troll. So they're investing pretty heavily in this round, which is in part why I'm not all that thrilled about going much further here. don't love Dennis, because not a lot of armor to boost ourselves up with. Gabor could have been a good early play. He is an engine. He has the resilience. I was kind of hoping we'd play him for the... No, oh wait, is this... No, he dies, but it's not a death blow per se. I mean, we are actually in the lead, so you know what? We'll just pass here. Still a little bit early to do that, but let's see, they're gonna get more value from that, but it's still not enough, especially because Best Boy comes out, complicates matters, and we will still take the round 1 win. Thank you, Best Boy. And so they will forfeit. Best Boy for the win. So there's a look at a Scoia'Tael Dwarves deck for the new Battle Rush seasonal event. If you liked the video, then make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and leave a comment down below to let me know which other cards, archetypes, and factions you'd like us to experiment with next. And I'll also link the playlist with all the previous Battle Rush decks that we played thus far. Heads up that this might be my only Battle Rush video this week because I just got a new computer, and setting it up is always one of those things that takes longer than it seems. But either way, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.